everybody, it's Lyra. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch for like 95% of the time. Welcome back to all of my returning subscribers. I thank you so much for coming back. I know it's been a little bit since my last video, almost a month. I was not really planning on taking this much time off of recording, but here we are. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on. I know there's quite a few new subscribers that may not have actually watched any past videos, which is totally fine. I've had a fair few subscribers come through since my last video, so welcome. Yeah, if you're just clicking on, I would love to have you stick around. So, okay. I feel like I've never done this before. I feel like I have a lot to talk about, but I don't know how much is actually going to come through in the video. There's a lot in my head, but I don't know how much is actually going to come out of my mouth. I've got a few notes, but really it's more about, and this will be like towards the end as far as what new, sir, you may not. I have a very, very clingy, needy dog, as you'll see in the clips. Please don't knock the table over. So yeah, I'm gonna go through let's start with the clips, and I've got a couple of finishes, which is I'm very excited about one of them as far as like it's done, it's finally done, and then a quickie finish that I'll talk about after that. And then we'll go into some plans. I'm not changing. Yes, I am changing plans. Let's be real. Changing some plans up to sort of fit my mental mode at the moment. I've got a little bit of shop talk and just like general newsy stuff, and then I've got life to talk about at the end if you care to stick around for that. So, all right, let's get into the clips, and then we'll move on to the other stuffs. Here we go. Okay, up first we have Face of a Mermaid. This is a piece from Total Cross Stitch. She's not huge. She is, there we go, 250 by 350. Yeah, 250 by 350, 79 colors. And I have been very remiss lately of making sure that I actually start filming a blurb for her. So you're actually going to see just an inserted picture again of where I started from. Now, unfortunately, I did not get... Oh, and I am stitching this on 28 count even weave. 1/1 full cross. And I started out here, which hopefully you're just seeing the thing, the before photo. I did not get much stitching time yesterday at all. I only put in 270 stitches. So let me segue to this. I doubt you'll be able to see any kind of difference at all, because I went ahead and worked in the few threads that were left over here. So you might be able to see a little bit of a difference over here, just from a smattering of the stitches that I filled in. And then I did 1 or 2 strands up here and in here. And yeah, I'm not expecting you to be able to see the difference at all, unfortunately, unless I concentrate on a really small area of the stitching. It's going to be hard to see until it really just fills in. So sorry if you're looking for lots of progress with noticeable difference. It's just not going to happen with this one. So I am loving how she looks as usual. And next week when she comes out, I will be starting up here, filling in this diagonal at the top. I think I'm not necessarily working by pages right now, but I'm going to fill in this top page-ish section so that I can move the hoop down and actually fit the rest of this pattern in this nerd hoop, I think, hopefully. Pretty sure that'll fit. Yeah. So we'll be focused on this spot for next week. Although I think I do remember, if I recall correctly, there's a couple of colors that just had a few stitches left over here, and then that was it for the pattern. So that may end up happening too. I don't know. We'll see what happens next week, but that's where she's at this week. Maybe I'll actually remember to record a before clip next week. It's going to end like this too, because I forgot to start the clip on dragons as well. Oh well. On to the next. Okay, here we have the drawn thread, a trick or treat pattern. Yeah, I don't know really what to say about this other than I am stitching it on the call for fabric, which is 32 count dirty linen, or well, it's Belfast linen in the color dirty. And I am stitching it with the called for dinky dyes. And I stitched about 200 stitches. I had this guy and this here and these. And then I realized I had the fabric the wrong direction in the Lowry stand. So you can see a little bit here where I had it in. Hopefully that kind of wears out after a bit. But yeah, I stopped at 306 out of the 300 called for Monopoly. And yeah, I'm enjoying this. This is one of the first ones that I picked up after I started stitching again. Once I kind of discovered, I don't know, a little bit more, I don't want to say modern, but kind of modern stitching. So that's the leg of the K in trick. I even got his little, got his little beak stitched in. I guess technically that's a long stitch, and then his little feet back stitched. So it's stitched just with 1 ply over 2. Typically I would stitch 2 over 2 on 32 count over 2, but since I'm doing the called for and I just got the 1 skein of floss per, I didn't want to take a chance of running out, so here we are. I think I'm gonna try, I might try and get another one started. So on to the next. Okay, so today is a start that has been like 2 days in the making. I tried a couple of times to get it into Pattern Keeper, and it's the symbols just degrade too much in the conversion process to Pattern Keeper. Just it was way too blurry, so I am working from paper. That's okay. So I started in the middle, and that's like right around here in her dress. So I've actually just started doing some of the greens in this, I don't know, garden, I guess. So as much as I wanted to start on her dress, I was like, not yet. Let me get some of this boring stuffs out of the way. So I am stitching this on a Live and Die, hold still, Live and Die LA fabric in the color Dusk, Lucana, 32 count. I'm stitching this 2 over 2 full cross, and I did 200. Now that is graying out really bad in the video. I don't know if pulling back will help. That helps a little bit, but it's actually a really lovely, like purpley blue. It does have a bit of gray in it as far as like the tone goes. But I did 247 stitches out of the 210 that Monopoly called for. And one of the flowers is going to come in right here. So yeah, not a ton, but it was good to finally get worked on. I'm struggling a little bit the last few weeks with, I don't know, I hesitate to call it depression, but that's probably what it is. And it's not like the sad kind, it's just the sit around and be a lump kind. So just finally actually putting that first stitch in was an accomplishment for me. So yeah, that's where we are. And I don't know, we'll see when it comes out again next. I think I might be able to get 1 or 2 more of these Monopoly projects done for Monopoly today. Today's Wednesday. I kind of sort of wanted to record today, but also kind of not. So we're just going to call it a wash and do the things that we do today. So, all right, I will pull out the next one and actually record the before clip just in case, so I don't forget. Okay, so next up is the snow falling on paper. It is a pattern by Mill Hill, and it calls to be stitched on perforated paper, but I'm just using up scraps, so that's where we're starting from. That's the top here, and I'm just using like eyeballed colors from my master set because that's all silk stuff, and I'm not buying silk for not even a partial, like barely a partial skein of floss. So this is going to call for just 100 stitches, which is good because I have to hold this in hand and my wrist has been killing me lately. So we'll see. This is the full width here of the pattern, so probably only a few more lines for 100 stitches, but that's okay. It will be progress. So I'll see you in a second for the total here. All right, and here we are, 107 stitches later, and I think I forgot to mention this is a scrap of my 28 count even weave fabric. I'm stitching this 2/2 because it does have some fractionals, and it just makes it so much easier when I'm not having to pierce Ada for those fractional stitches. So I'm now starting to get into those snowflakes there. So I really like the blues, but the threads that I'm pulling, I had actually were part of Lightweaver's original kit, because I had completely kitted that up and then de-kitted it. And the lengths are like stupid short for doubled over for the 2 threads. So that was like, I don't know, 6 pieces of thread just for 100 stitches. It's dumb. But yeah, this will be a little bit slow going simply because of how few stitches it gets every time. But I'm glad it was only 100 stitches because, yeah, like I said, my wrist did not really like holding the fabric, and because I've left such a stupid small amount of margin, I can't really put it into a hoop or anything. So there we go. I don't know if I'm going to try and do one more or not. I still have to take the dog. It's like 1:45 in the morning. Unfortunately, I'm not very sleepy, if at all. I still have to take the dog outside, but that won't take that long. Like a half hour, or not half hour, half-mile walk up to the mailbox and back, but I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll do that and then figure it out. Maybe I'll just go to bed after that. Anywho, on to whatever's next. I don't know. And next up we have Lavender and Lace's Celtic Autumn, and this is designed by Marilyn Levitt Emblem. This is an older pattern, or series I should say, and excuse me, this is vaguely what mine will look like. I'm doing a color conversion, and I'm putting her in, no, that's a different one. I'm doing a color conversion, and I do have like an extra, well, here you can see it, this thing in her hands. So this one doesn't have anything, this one does, but that is the color conversion that I'm doing. I don't know how many stitches she has in her. I am doing this on a fabric by Die Stitch Love. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but the color is Persephone. This is on a 28 count casual linen. It is opalescent, and I'm doing this 2/2 full cross. As you can see, I have gotten some beads going on it, which is one thing I really love about stitching on the scroll frame, is because I don't have to worry about the beads. I think I'm gonna have to invest in another size, like the next bigger size of this, for working on my chatelaine when I get my material pack in, because I'm going to want to be able to bead as I go, or at least I think so. I don't know. Those are so complicated with very specific step-by-step instructions. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But Yeah, I definitely really like these scroll frames. So she is getting at least 200 stitches. That will probably all be in this border here. And yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll see how well I can keep this kind of in frame for when I come back. Okay, and I don't feel like I got very far on this. I didn't count stitches with this one, but I mean, I guess I did make progress on the motifs there. I didn't get any beading done, which is totally fine. I brought that down a bit more. It's not that I didn't enjoy stitching this, but I think my mood right now is definitely not in the switch threads every 2 seconds. And these motifs have a ton of different colors in them that it's like one stitch, one stitch, one stitch, two stitches, two, just very, very, what's the word? Finicky. That's not quite the word I want. Anyway, it felt like it took me forever to get the progress that I did, and I wasn't enjoying that aspect of it. So I'm stopping, and I'm going to put this away and move on to the next, which is totally fine. Some days we love what we can get done, and other days it's like a slog. So, well, that's where we're at so far with that. Okay, I'm a little out of practice with this, but I'm going to work on this. What is this called? Spirit Horse. This is actually Piece by Pixie Cold. You can find a licensed version of this as a kit on Gecko Rouge. I have an off-brand, unfortunately, but yeah, so this is on 14 count Ada, using all the kit stuff. And this is where we're starting from. I have no idea how many stitches this is. I'm probably not even going to count how many stitches I do. Even though this is a Monopoly piece with, stitch however many, I'm headspace wise, that's not happening. So I'm just going to work on this and get what I get in it, and we'll see what it looks like after that. Oh, and let's see, it's a 14 count, so it's 2 over 1 full cross. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. Okay, here we are. I actually forgot to film this before I took it out of the Q-snap. But I definitely did more than the 280 that Monopoly called for. I have no clue other than that. I did not bother counting. And I actually ended up working on it for 2 days. I am kind of not getting rid of Monopoly, but getting rid of the numbers in Monopoly, which may not be fun for you guys, to be honest, simply because that's going to make Monopoly rounds like way few and far between, especially if I kind of get a kick on. And I'm actually kind of thinking about decreasing filming anyways, down to every 2 weeks, but I don't know, kind of see where that goes. I've been dealing with some stuffs lately, so just been hard for me to get in the headspace of lifing at the moment. But this was fun to work on. I mean, as you can see, I filled in basically everything from here down. So, but once I started having trouble deciding where to go, what to pick, I decided that was a good sign of being done with this one for now. So I will put it away and go on with my day. All right, now we're working on Stained Glass Goddess 1. This is a pattern from Tilton Crafts. Artwork is by Jane Creative. And there's not a whole lot to say about this one, I don't think. It's 350 by 350, but that's not quite accurate. The background, she didn't exclude, so that white square she's got charted, I'm not doing that. So it's not exactly accurate. This is what I've started on. There's a little bit of stitching down there, but not. This is what you're going to look at today. This is being stitched on 18 count Davis fabric in the color Putty. And I'm stitching this 2/2 full cross. There is a couple of different colors in here. There's 310 and there's 939. That might be a little hard to see. So now that I've worked my way up to the top, I'm going to be stitching up here and kind of filling the top down now. This one's in Pattern Keeper, so it's only calling for 150 stitches, but honestly, I'm just going to work on it until, ooh, I just popped an earring out, until I feel like I'm done with it. So, all right, we will come back when I've decided I'm done. And here we are, about 200-ish stitches later. I actually forgot to look last night before I went to bed and write it down. So the last time I looked, it was like 177, and I know I went further than that, so meh. It's fine. It is whatever. I even forgot to record this before I pulled it out of the Q-snap, but that's okay. Now you can see where it went way down there. I have a feeling I'm going to end up doing pretty much all the black first on this one as well, simply because I don't know if you can tell, but well, kind of. This is indicative of how the colors go in. It's very confetti heavy, which I was kind of surprised about. Like once I actually started getting in there and stitching, and since it's not gridded, it's a little challenging to follow that. So having the framework with the 310 and like the 939, I think there's some 823 that kind of makes the framework for the stained glass part will help a lot. So that's probably what I will focus on, which honestly, while I feel like that's going to be the best plan for this, it doesn't necessarily excite me to work on it now, because I'm working on so much 310 as it is with Dragons of the Sabbat. So I will, yeah, like I said, this one was only calling for 150 stitches. Taz. Say hi. not that kind of hi, buddy. Hi. Oh goodness. Okay, so here's my dog. Let me get him off my lap. Hang on. Oh, okay. So anyways, there's whatever this is, stained glass goddess. So yeah, I'll probably end up sticking to whatever kind of close to Monopoly callings that there is. Although, y'all, my head is so not on straight right now. I don't know what's happening when it comes to moving forward. So anywho, move on to the next one. That's where I got to. Okay, next up is Autumn Quakers. And there's not a whole lot to say about this, except that I am stitching it on a 28 count something or other. Autumn, Atomic Ranch, not Autumn. Atomic Ranch. It is a linen called Golden Harvest. And here is where I am starting from. I am stitching this with the called for Valdani threads. My kiddo is coming downstairs after his shower. Or not. I don't know what he's doing. And yeah, that's where we're starting from. It's very shadowy here tonight. Here we go. And yeah, I'm just gonna work on this until I feel like stopping. This is one of the focus pieces, and 2/2 full cross is what is happening with the threads. Oh, the pattern is from Rosewood Manor. There we go. There's a ton of theirs that I really want. A lot of their Dreaming of Flowers. I've got one I need to start, but yeah. So, all right, well, come back and see what we look like. Yeah, I totally lied about the thread. These, I forgot what the Valdanis, they are. So they're little balls to look like this, at least this particular floss of theirs. And it's basically a 3-strand floss off the ball, and you just use it like that off the ball. So yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to lie. Okay, and let's see. So I worked on this tonight and last night, and tonight I got 457 in. I have no idea how many I got in last night. I did like a lot of the finishing little stuff up here. But yeah, I don't know. I forgot to look at it. So I'm not going to stress about it. Like I said, I wasn't even counting some of the other ones that I did. But this motif is completely finished now. This one is completely finished. And this little guy here is finished. So we've got obviously some gaps to fill in up here. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm picking a color that needs to be, like I'm picking motif that I want to finish, basically, right? And then I am taking the color, you know, if I still have thread, but I run out of things to do in the motif, I take it, if I can, to the next available space. Now, some of the counting is just too much, so I go ahead and wind it back up on the ball, but if I can, I go ahead and take it to the next spot. So that is what we're looking like. I actually had stitched these little flower things and like this line right here, around here in the wrong color, or the printing on the little ball here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So that's pretty clear, P5. But this is not so clear and kind of looks like a badly printed 5, but it also kind of looks like the 6 that it is. So I'd actually grab this one instead and stitch these with it. And I thought about leaving it, but then I realized, like, I don't think this is another motif repeated somewhere. I don't think. I haven't really looked. Yeah, like that's a unique motif. But I harvested as much of the thread back as I could. I didn't just throw it away. So just in case I ran out later, I didn't want to leave it in there. And it was kind of bothering me, like how close the color was to some of the other stuff around it. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and I am satisfied that I did so. So this will go back into the focus rotation lineup. Although it looks like the focuses are going to stay pretty consistent, but like I said earlier in the clips, I think Monopoly is going to go on a break. And I will talk about that in the plans section, which doesn't really exist usually, but it's going to exist this time. I will talk about that once we're done with all these clips. So, yeah, I don't know what's next, or if I'm going to record tomorrow, like finish up the video, because my goodness, it's been a while. Yeah, so, okay, that's where we are. Okay, today you're actually in my holder, so I have both hands. I have a Band-Aid. It's fine. I'm fine. It's a tiny scratch that I got when I took Taz to go get his one of his vaccinations, and I got my hand caught in the leash. It just looks it looks way worse than it is. So I thought I'd spare queasy stomachs. Okay, so this is out of 100 cross stitch Christmas ornaments. This is actually from Dimensions, as you published it, and this was a new start, Bright Star Giraffe, or Star Bright Giraffe, my bad. And I put it on this, I don't know, I think this is like a 16 or 18 count Aida. Doing it 2/1 full cross, and I actually got this whole giraffe minus his hooves, minus the back stitching and the bottom trunk of this tree trunk. Got that completely stitched, no star. And I went to go do his hooves in this little shadow, and I thought, and I saw that this is calling for the Ball Your Gold, and I'm pretty sure I have this in my stash somewhere. But, you know, the whole time I'm stitching it, I'm going, why does mine look so much different than this model stitch? And so over here in the key, hopefully you can see this okay. I see this X, pale yellow, yellow, this X, light turquoise blue, you know, and blended cross stitch, 2 colors are through. I'm like, yes, I know what blended cross stitch is. So I'm looking at these and I'm like, okay, these are blends. And I'm stitching it and I'm going, man, this does not look like it has blends in it. Why does the model stitch not look like it has blends in it? I'm going, well, okay, maybe they changed something or something. But I go and, like I said, I'm looking here and then I see that this is an X and I'm like, well, where's my X? Well, there's my X that's very specific about how to blend these 2 pieces together. Oh, crap. It's not blended because it's not blended. This is just like your list of colors that you will need, because some of these in the details, like the French knots and the back stitching, use colors. I'm like, why? The whole giraffe was stitched before I realized it. But that's how it turned out. I actually really, really like how that looks. It's a little more vibrant as far as the coloring goes. And yeah, it might be a little more cartoony, I guess, than this giraffe. But I like it. And that's what matters, right? Like, I really like how that turned out. It was a very happy accident for me to blend those colors. But once I discovered that, I was like, I think I'm done for the day, for this round. Monopoly called for 130 stitches, and I definitely went way above and beyond for that. And I didn't feel like digging the Kranich out, so which is what the ball ear thread is. So yeah, that's where I got to. His little tail nub is right here, so that'll be connected by backstitch. But so yeah, I kind of told myself I would work on this until I was done with it. I am done with it for now, so it will get put away until the next time it gets called for Monopoly. So let me grab dragons to finalize where we're at with that, and then I think I'm actually going to record for the first time in like, what, 3 weeks? Okay, here is my main focus piece. Sorry for the light there. This is Dragons of the Spot, charted by Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Ann Stokes. It is 755 by 800 with however many colors it has. I am working on all the black. I have, I don't know, I was at 38,000-ish here starting. I totally forgot to film this before I started stitching again. I have a bad habit of that. But I'm stitching this on a 28 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. My plan is to get all the black stitched before I start on the frame of the blue, and then all the dragons will be the very last. But I have all the outside black done if you haven't seen my channel before, and I have all the inside black done where the sigils are, and I am now filling in the black for the dragons. I just finished the upper right hand. Well, you can actually see where I'm at here. There's my picture before, because I suck. And let's give you a shot here. I don't know where my before picture is going to be, simply because I'm going to have to grab it from a video, but there we go. That's where I'm at now. So I have finished this whole dragon section. I'm actually a little bit, I don't know about ahead, but because I missed a few days of very sparse stitching and didn't really keep track very well, so I just picked up where I was. I'm partially into the thread for tomorrow, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this out of the Q-snap and show you what that looks like all laid out,
the hoop, and then we will move the hoop and continue on until I get this uploaded, which I don't know when that will be. Hopefully soon, because I'm actually running out of space on my whiteboard for writing in the daily totals for dragons specifically. So, all right, let me pull this out of the hoop and give you a look-see at the whole thing. Okay, I had to get a chair. All right, there we go. So you can see that big hoop mark where I took that out just now, but that will relax. That hoop mark has moved all over this place on this pet project. So I will just move down to the next dragon section here, and we'll continue on from here. But loving it. It's kind of amazing, actually, to me, how much space is here in the middle. There's still a lot of dark stitching to go in through here where those sigils go, but I've seen that worked up a little bit when Sarah was working on it, Sarah Payne, and it looks like it glows. It's amazing, but she was doing it on black fabric, so. Okay, well, yeah, on to more of this. Okay, so I thought I'd give you a new frame of reference here. Obviously, I haven't really started stitching, but I found one of my fake nurges that will fit that whole section in, which is awesome because I really hate switching in the middle of a dragon section. So it's going to look messy as far as the lines here because I forgot to remark it before I put it in the nurge. Really? And so yeah, I'm just going to try and very gently mark it here while I'm sitting here. So, and it fades. UV light gets to it and fades it. So it doesn't turn, at least I'm assuming, because my lamp does have a bit of UV because it's LED, I think. I don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it does, the friction pens do seem to fade if I have it exposed to, like, I mean, there's, window light that comes in, so it does fade after a bit. So, all right, well, the kid and the dog are being stupid, so off we go. Okay, take 3 of this segment because math is hard. So this is where I have ended up with Dragons of the Spot. I am not 100% sure exactly how many stitches I have stitched since I last recorded because I did not record properly every day that I stitched. So according to the math, however, since the last time I filmed and had a total written down, I stitched 7,168, and that does include what I stitched in the previous segments, the previous clips of this. So we are now at 9,465 total out of the 40,884 stitches that were left in the 310 from when I started the sort of tracking. So yeah, I've got 31,419 stitches in Pattern Keeper left to do of 310. And I am now at 220,143 stitches total out of the whole piece of 604,000. So I am now at 36.45% complete on this piece. I'm excited because this really doesn't have as much 310 on this entire section as most of the other dragons do. I mean, it's still about 5,000 stitches. Like the fill-in, as far as that goes, that was left when I was done outlining. So I mean, it's still got a decent amount of stitches in, but I should be able to get this filled in. My goal is to finish filling this in before I leave for Canada for the Gathering Thread Retreat, and to get the next one outlined so that all I have to do is fill in while I'm there. That I feel like that gives me something where I don't have to think too much. I can still pay attention to what's going on, especially since I'm going to be vending. So that's exciting for me. I still have to figure out a lot of the customs, like the actual customs form that I have to fill in to take with me or have uploaded or whatever for the border crossing. But everything else is official. So Yeah, so yeah, just keep trucking along on this. If you are on Facebook but have not, if you're on Facebook, you should have seen I posted like the full picture of this piece when I finished this dragon, because I posted it on Instagram and that automatically posts to my Facebook. So yeah, if you want to see that all laid out, take a peek at that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on this particular piece at this point. So yeah, on to the next. All right, I'm actually going to remember to record this before clip. So this is Pegasus. It is a stamped cross-stitch kit from China. And I have, I don't know, less than 4,000 to go, I think. Somewhere around there. It is stamped, so that's what we've got left. You can see that's most of it. It's on the scroll bars at the moment. It's on 14 count Ada, being stitched 2 over 1 full cross. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got left. So I don't have a ton of time to stitch tonight, so probably won't get a huge amount of progress, but that's okay. Every stitch counts. So yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Alrighty, I ended up with a little more stitching time than I thought I was going to get. So I put in 731 stitches, which I'm very excited about. I'm kind of ready for the push to get this done, to be honest. Let's see, I did finish one color. This blue up in here is now complete. And yeah, like I said, I'm ready for this to be completed. It's not that I'm tired of it, but it's been more than a couple of years. It's time. So, yeah, I guess there's not really a whole lot more to say to that other than, okay, my back stitching looked like it was starting to get loose already. So I've got, apparently I wanted to push for this to be done so much I completely skipped the actual focus piece I was supposed to be working on, which I just realized. That's kind of funny. I don't know, maybe I will go ahead and work on this every week until it's done, just because, like I said, I'm ready for it to be done. And then I will do, if I get a chance to, I don't know if I will get a chance to stitch tomorrow, but on to Monopoly for the next project, and then hopefully I will go ahead and get at least Autumn Quakers worked on before filming on Wednesday. We'll see. So, all right, I can't even see. Oh yeah, I've got to get, so the next Monopoly piece is Garden Prelude, which is Mirabilia, and I have not tried to get that scanned in or anything yet, so I've got some work to do before I can even start that. So it's going to be interesting what I actually get worked on. But yeah, I will see you when I have time to stitch again.
Okay, so I actually finished it. I don't know how many stitches it took to actually finish off the whole thing. I was not in a space to count. So there it is in all its glory. I did get it washed, so the colors are, I feel like they're much more vibrant and a little more rich than what they were. Like those mountains here on this side, I was really kind of going, man, those look weird, until the ink washed out, and then I could see kind of what it was meant to look like. So pretty happy with how that turned out. Sorry, I got itchy nose. Very, relatively speaking, pretty modest on the back stitching. Most of it was in the wings. So yeah, very glad to get this off my plate. So stamped cross stitch definitely has its place. I'm very glad to see that there are more companies licensing kits that are stamped, because man, sometimes you really don't have the wherewithal to count. And yeah, stamp cross stitch definitely is a good way to go for a lot of people when they're just done. They are a little more pricey, but yeah, if I need to scratch that itch in the future, I will definitely be investing in licensed stamped kits instead of the ones that I have in my possession at the moment. So another finish that I have, I talked about these kits last time. Pavatulia is a Ukrainian company, and they reached out to me to see if I wanted to try their kits. Excuse me, and I said yes. And they sent two to me that I showed did I say last week? Last video. And I finished one of them. So this is, well, it's not fully finished, but I did the cross stitching on it. I think it turned out so cute. The back stitching was not nightmarish at all. I really enjoyed actually how it went in. So, and I actually have I have all the colors left, and honestly, I'm pretty sure there's enough here. Like, the finishing instructions say to just sandwich it and sew it together like this. Oops, not like that. Like this, right? But I'm actually tempted at some point to see if I can stitch it again on this side and then sandwich them together so that it's like a double-sided bookmark. I think that would be cute. And then stitch them together. Or I could see if I can get the second one stitched and finish them with like a felt material, with the same technique that they have to sandwich these two together. And I can give one away as a gift. Or I could, I'm liking this idea even more as it's percolating here. If anybody wants to test my theory that there's enough thread in here and would like me to pass this little kit on, and you can have a matching bookmark with me, what do you think? I think let's do that. I haven't had a giveaway in like a really long time. Spur of the moment. Mushroom. Keyword mushroom. Now, in my description box, I will not get into this fully. I will give you the skinny of it. In my description box, at the mostly at the top, there is a link to a Google Happy Mail form that must be filled out in order to enter my giveaways. Okay. I don't collect your information to sell it. I don't bother you with anything other than, hey, I know this is you. Let's get this to where it needs to go, right? So if you don't like the idea of putting your email address, because that's all I ask for in the Google form, ask for your YouTube name, basically what shows up in the comments. Please do the at whatever shows up on your comments. I do that so that I can match you up properly and somebody can't swoop in on your prize. Okay? If you don't like that idea, don't enter. It's that simple. So it's for your protection, it's for my protection. So yeah, make sure. Now, if you filled that out before in the past for my giveaways, don't worry about doing it again. It's still there. Yes, it's still there. Unless you tell me, hey, delete my stuff. It's just there. Again, it's just your email address. There's nothing identifying about that as far as personal information goes. Just to make sure that when I communicate with you, I know it's going to the right person. So, if you would like this kit, and again, it does not have DMC equivalents. So if you do run out of floss, you will need to color match yourself from your stash. But I really think there's enough in here to do it again. So yeah, Google Mail form. And then once that's filled out, that just assures that whoever wins, I can contact, right? Please be over 18. I would love for you to be a subscriber, but I'm not the subscriber police as far as that goes. Don't mention giveaway in the comments. And then make sure to put mushroom, M-U-S-H-R-O-O-M, all one word, in the comments if you would like to stitch a matching bookmark. And then I will draw a winner. What is today? Today's the 26th of July, 2025. I will find my calendar. Here it is. I don't want to commit to, I'm going to be filming on X date. I don't know. I'm in a space right now where that might not happen exactly, but today's Saturday. Let us assume that it's going to be, no, you know what? Based on what I have left on Monopoly and my focus pieces for the board, I'm really going to try to film again next week. So today's Friday. Is today Friday? No, today is today is Saturday. I don't know what day it is. I would like to film again. 1, 2. We're gonna say, I don't know. It'll be open until you see the next video come out. Okay? So again, July 26th, 2025. If you see a video after this video already published, it's too late. Don't enter. Okay, so yeah, I feel that's good, because I was gonna sit here going, do I want to stitch it again? And I will just finish it with a piece of felt. It's fine. It'll be good. So now that that's done, did I show this like so you could actually see it? Let's look at it again, because it's super cute, right? Look at that snail. I love the little snail. So it was really easy. It took me a couple of days to stitch. The pattern itself is very easy to read. Not super easy to mark off, but again, very easy to read and follow without having to worry about that. So let's see what else. You can be anywhere in the world. I don't care. Actually, I do care. You can be anywhere in the world if you are outside of the US. Yeah, you know what? It's okay. I will. It's been a while, and I feel like it's something tiny to give back. So yes, anywhere in the world, I will ship to you. Okay. What else? Don't drop that on the floor. Oh, so I did finally, and I forgot to actually write down. Don't lick that. Stop. What are you doing? Quit. You're not that hungry, I promise. It's not dinner time yet. I talked about Sullivan's thread, my last video, and that I had applied for becoming a reseller for them, basically. So, and I finally heard back from them. That's all. That might have been a thing already. And I did get several questions about that. It is 100% Egyptian cotton. It is mercerized, so it has that sort of processing that gives it sort of a sheen to it. It is not as lustrous as DMC, but it is very, very similar. There was some technical difficulties when I went to place my first order with them, but that is in process of being rectified. So I'm just waiting to get my invoice from them so that I can pay it and they can ship it to me. So once I get that physically in hand, I will talk more about that. I'll have a little thread segment set aside just for that. But yes, it is 100% cotton, Egyptian cotton. It is made in China, but it is it's an established brand. They've been around for a long time. I don't remember the exact years. I'd have to double check on that. But consistency is what I was looking for in an affordable brand of thread. So once that comes in, I do have some people that I've got in mind for sort of testing. I want to get more input on how people feel that it works up, not necessarily as a strict competitor with DMC, but as something that is budget friendly. You know, is it workable? Is it, you know, does it do what it's supposed to do as thread? Is it that kind of thing? Anyway, so that's gonna be probably a few months in the making. Obviously, the pattern that we picked out, because I have to buy 12 skeins at a time, and that adds up. I cannot do the entire range of colors right off the rip. That's like $6,000. Not happening yet. So what I wanted was to find a pattern that a few of the people that I know, yes, they are my friends, so take that as you will. If you're worried about bias, I'm sorry, but I had to get a group of people together that we're all of us. Yeah, I think all of us are Flosstubers, because I need sort of the word to get out as far as like their opinions on it. I trust them to give their honest opinion, and not just because I'm providing the materials. I wanted people who I know, like Jen was the first person I went to, because she is going to tell you how it is, no matter, like, if it sucks, she's going to tell you it sucks. Like, don't do this. This sucks. And she'll tell me that too. Like, dude, you can't sell this. This is crap. I don't think it's crap, but having that input, that feedback, and not just blowing smoke up my butt is what I want. So that's going to take a little bit of time to get that out to everybody, and then to kind of get their feedback on if this is something that is feasible, that is going to contribute to the community, and not just me as a business. So that's a lot of words for what I wanted to say. Let's see, if you watched the 310 Stitcher, you have probably heard that I am officially vending at the Gathering Thread, which I did mention, I think, in a clip or so ago. So that's very exciting. That was a lot of time on the phone with Canadian Border Services and their version of the IRS. I still have more phone calls to make, because I have questions about how to fill out the actual customs form that goes along with the goods that I'm going to be taking into Canada, like specifics on filling that out to make sure it's as smooth as a process for not only me, but for the people who have to deal with my importations. So that's very exciting. If you haven't heard, again, that's the just next month, less than a month now, August the 20. I'm going up on the 21st, but that's not when it is. 22nd through 24th, the Gathering Thread. It is in Ottawa, Canada, and I am booked. I have my hotel room. Suki is going to be there, meeting me there. I'm so excited. I haven't seen her in too long, so yeah, that is exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying not to think about it too hard, so that the anxiety doesn't get the better of me. I got to think about, like, I have things to think about. Okay. Oh, that does also bring me to my Etsy shop has been stocked up with everything that was left over from StitchCon. Those will be pulled again for the retreat on the 15th of August. So at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be pulling everything and going into vacation mode. That gives me some time to make sure I have all my inventory straight, and all that fun stuff. So if you have anything that you had your eye on, or have had your eye on since my stuff came back from StitchCon, may want to go ahead and snag it if you want that, because I cannot guarantee what I will come back with. It's not a huge retreat. I believe we are at less than 100, which I'm good with. I love small retreats. Big retreats are fun, but man, the smaller ones, you can really get to talk to people. I do hope Jade has made her investment back, at least in registration fees and stuff, because I know it's expensive to put on events. My husband and I have hosted multiple events on our property, so we don't have like a a space rental fee or anything like that, but just putting that kind of gathering and feeding people and things like that, it costs a lot of money. So yeah, if you are in the Canadian area or northeast US, and are looking for a retreat in August, I believe there are still spots open. I cannot guarantee that there is open spots in the block for rooms for the hotel, though. Might be something to check in on. But okay, I think that's all as far as that kind of news goes. Plans moving forward. I'm still enjoying Monopoly. Do not get me wrong. However, I have not been necessarily enjoying the numbers part of it, as far as like stitch 200 on this one, stitch 150 on that one, stitch, right? I am definitely feeling more, not necessarily sweewee, because I still feel with the amount of whips that I have. Oh, speaking of amount of whips that I have, I apologize for not coming through on the second installment of Whip Parade. I had talked about showing the rest of my whips, the rest of my whips that I have not touched, and that didn't happen. It happened up until F. And I don't even remember exactly what happened now, because I filmed it at the beginning of July, and I had to stop. I think part of it was because I had so much dang trouble getting the first installment of the Whip Parade up. It was ridiculous. I don't know what was happening with the program, but basically it wanted like triple the amount of storage open on my phone than the actual video took up. And it took me days to get that posted. And then, yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I got to F, I had to stop for the night, and I never did get going with the rest of them. So I had to say enough is enough as far as the stress of trying to get it filmed. It is what it is. So it is what it is. They might come out to play in December, but I think what needs to happen for my sanity is that it will just get pulled all at once. Everything that I worked on, everything that I didn't work on, it's all just going to go one at a time out of the bin. Anyways, back to Monopoly. I'll be honest, I've been debating on whether or not I want to continue doing it. Or at least pushing myself to get it done in a certain amount of time. Like, I wasn't really, but like, these are getting kind of stretched out, right? And I know some of you have been stitching along with me, and I do apologize if you were like really looking forward to like participating with me. And while I appreciate it, and I don't necessarily want to, would you get your head off the table? While I don't necessarily want to alienate anybody from trying to participate, I cannot guarantee how long or not it's going to take me to get through a round of Monopoly, because let's face it, my Monopoly is ridiculous. Because what I'm doing is I'm picking up the next thing on my list, and I'm stitching it until I'm feeling done with stitching on it. Like, that could be 100, that could be 500, that could be 1,000, that could be, I don't know. I'm just stitching to make me happy right now, because I need that. And it's a hobby, right? We don't need to stress about it. Okay, so with that being said, I only have, I think, I need to double check what was the last one on the list. Oops. Yeah, so the last one on the list is actually showing up on the board now. I only have two. I have two more whips left in the Monopoly round. I have one focus piece left in the round. Poor face of a mermaid. My plan was to stitch on her once a week, and I don't even know what week it is, let alone what day of the week it is, um, to actually make sure she comes out once a week. So I've just kind of been bouncing around. Like, I'll do an opera piece and I'll do a focus piece, and then some days I didn't feel like working on anything but dragons. So dragons got like 1,500 stitches in one sitting. So I'm just kind of like, dog. I'm just kind of, I feel like I'm in limbo a little bit with it. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to finish up the two pieces that are left in the Monopoly round, right? I'm going to, and I can't remember, honestly, even my own friggin' plans. So focus pieces I have on a wheel, right? Is that how I did it? Yeah. So I've got one left on the wheel. I will stitch Melaganos. I'm honestly planning on stitching on him for a couple of days at the very least. I want to get a lot more progress done on him. I had the 4,000 stitch goal before they got rotated out. I don't know if I really want to keep track of that, to be honest. I think I just want to... No. I think I just want to work as long as I want to work in that small space of time, and then rotate it out within my focus piece list, right? So it's not that I don't want to work on them, but I think I want to work on them in a way that makes me a little happier and feels a little less constraining. Okay. So, and that being said, again, if you watched Jade's, I gotta move my light so I can get to something, but that looked weird. If you saw Jade's last video, she has new plans, or is thinking of new plans as far as stitching stitching like an ABC. This is honestly part of why I have not been like pushing myself to film. Between my kid and my dog, I'm going a little nutso. I cannot. It's time for school to start. It's time. Anyways, she is talking about stitching. She's got all her projects. She's got all her and like picking an A. And I don't remember now exactly how she's going to be picking, if she's spinning or if she's just picking, because I've bounced ideas with Jen now too, for her plans. I have honestly sort of noodled about doing like an ABC stitch previously, but more along the lines of like stitch them in order, like all of the A's. And I was like, no, that's going to be overwhelming. Why I didn't think of just pulling one. Anyways, it's a brilliant idea, Jade. I love it. So I want to jump on the bandwagon too. So I am going to add that one whip per whatever. And again, it's just going to be stitched until I decide, okay, that's enough. I'm going to put this whip away now. But so there's not really a time frame on it, so to speak. It might be 1 letter a week. It might be 5 letters a week. I don't know. It will just depend on how I feel like rotating stuff. So, and what I'm going to do, like all of my focus pieces, and like anything that's out in my Monopoly bin, that's not going to be part of it. I'm physically going to go through my bin in the A's and see what pops out at me. Like I have my bin pulled. I was thinking about like digging through and picking out, but that seems like it would be kind of boring. So I will pick that out off camera, and then it will be a surprise. You will see what I work on as I work on it. I would like to still try to incorporate Face of a Mermaid once a week. My husband and I got a new mattress. All right, we had our old mattress for 12 years. This is relevant, I promise. For 12 years. It was an 8-year warranty mattress, so we slept on it 4 years past its prime. We got this new mattress. It's like 2 inches thicker than the old one. I did not realize how horrible our sleep quality was until this new mattress came in. Like, I don't wake up 500 times a night anymore. I'm not. I'm a little stiff because, you know, you have the new mattress. Your body's gonna have to get used to like sleeping not sunk into your old one, right? So I really feel like that has helped tremendously just in the last few nights of sleep. Um, I'm not quite as foggy as I have been. So I feel like hopefully that will allow better, more consistent, maybe not better, at least more consistent recording. I'm hoping. Seems like every time I speak something out into the ether, something comes along and knocks it down. I mean, the biggest reason I stopped recording the beginning of July was, and I had posted on my community tab about this, but I had gotten my routine mammogram, and y'all, I should be used to this by now. It came back abnormal. I had to go in for more testing. I don't care how many times that happens to me. Like I've had one normal mammogram ever. You'd think that it would just be like normal for me, but it's really not. You're going to go in. You got to go back and see if something is wrong. Like, is it cancer? You know. So that was stressful enough that I was like, I'm not gonna. I couldn't film at that point. Like, I was okay, but I was definitely not. I was not in a space to record. I have also, and everything is fine. I went back in for my ultrasound or whatever for the diagnostics, and they're like, "You're fine. It's okay. No big deal. It's benign." But I do have elevated risk, so they want me to go in for an MRI in 6 months. I don't know if that can happen, y'all. We have a $3,000 deductible, but on non-routine medical care, and so our insurance is like good and bad, because for like regular doctor's appointments we have a copay, a low copay, but when it comes to anything that's like diagnostic testing or, you know, anything like that, it has to go to the deductible, and it's $3,000 per person. So that, and my son is also going through some stuff. So like, and here in the States, an MRI is probably like, I don't know what, at least $1,000, if not multiple thousands of dollars. Like the ultrasound, I'm waiting back to hear if I owe $200 on it or $600 on it. You know, it's, and every year we're talking, am I going to have to like owe my entire deductible because of this? Yeah, I might just have to rely on mammograms and cross my fingers. You know, it sucks, but anyway, not here to boo-hoo about it. It's just a fact of life in the United States. So anyways, I had other testing done too. I don't know if that's considered routine. It's technically a routine test for my age, but I've had prior diagnoses, so they could actually still consider it diagnostic and not covered immediately. It might have to go onto the deductible. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. But the good news about that particular test was that a condition that I've been dealing with for like 10 years is cleared up. So that's good. That was totally worth it. I have not heard back from the rheumatologist, so I don't know if they're gonna. Would you stop knocking into the table? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get actually tested for anything or not. My son had an orthodontist appointment. He's supposed to have spacers and like teeth work before all of his permanent teeth come in, and then after his permanent teeth come in is a round of braces. we had to put that on pause because it's $3,000 out of pocket. I'm like, this is not a pity party. This is not, I need money. No, this is us having to deal with the reality, and we will get there. I promise. Would you stop? Stop. No, you're not invited right now. I love you. You're not invited yet. It's just, it's reality, honestly. It's, so we will get it taken care of. I've got some stuff listed on my personal profile for sale, so it's just going to be a matter of shuffling and moving money to take care of it, right? We'll get there. I don't really know where I was going with that. So yes, I'm complaining because freaking healthcare is stupid expensive. I feel very blessed that we have insurance for what it's worth. I was talking about plans. Man, that was a tangent. So anyways. Oh, I was talking about partly why I hadn't filmed. Anyways. So yeah, I've got my focus pieces. Dragons is still 2 strands a day minimum. That's now, I say that, but every once in a while I have a day where I'm like, I don't want to look at 310. I don't want to string another strand of black. And I will skip that day and just try to do like 4 strands the next day, but I'm not pushing it. I'm not pushing it. If I really am like 310, I don't, right? So that's where I'm at with that. So I don't really have anything like to show you plans wise. I don't feel like digging out the 2 Monopoly pieces. I don't feel like digging out Melaganos. They're buried. It's fine. If you really want to see those, go to the last video. I keep forgetting to film clips, befores or afters. So, but man, I'll tell you what, the amount of not editing that I have to do is still worth it, so I'm still going to try. As far as stitching goes, though, I think that covers it. That was a lot of talk for not a lot of stitchiness. Yeah, so next week will be more dragons. I want to get Face of a Mermaid at least once. Melaganos for however much. Hopefully I'll see you next week. It really just depends. I don't know. And this kind of leads me into a little bit more of lifey talk. So if that was it, if you muscled your way through and you're done, as far as the not stitchy talk goes, thanks so much for hanging out and getting this far. I will see you in the next video. If you are sticking around for a little bit of life, well, thanks for one. And yeah, we'll see. I'll talk a little bit more about life. So what day was that? So July 7th or 8th? 7th? I don't know, one of those 2 days. I saw my middle child off to basic training. I did speak of this a little bit in the last video as well, that he was getting ready to head in. It was kind of anticlimactic, to be honest, because I actually drove out to, so I'm in the Dayton, Ohio area, and the MEPS station, which is like, I don't remember the exact term for it, but it's basically where all the recruits go to disperse to wherever they go, I think. Anyways, the MEPS is in Columbus, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive. We have limited second vehicle that decided to overheat on me last time I drove it any length of time, so I didn't really have a vehicle. So my ex-husband actually came and picked me up, and we rode together to see our son off. So we get along all right. It's fine. But yeah, we get there, and we actually had to wait in the car until their group was ready to get on the bus. And then we got out of the car and to the front of the building, but not inside the building. The recruits came out and lined up. They did their oath, their swear on oath, and then they got on the bus. That was it. It was very, very non-pomp and circumstance. Which, I mean, we did get to, give hugs and say goodbye and stuff, but it was sort of anticlimactic. So, and the first week he was there, the very first week he was there, of course, when you're in basic, you don't get really any contact. It's not like you have free range with your phone. I'm pretty sure they don't even have their phones, which is good. They should not be concentrating on anything on that, right? Concentrate on training. And I'm assuming they only got like one phone call because I heard from my ex about, was it Sunday, I think, about hearing from our son, which there's always like, that's like, I wish they would take into account how many children come from split families now, because they have to pick. They have, unless you're able to coordinate being together that whole day for a random phone call from your kid, it's not like, so he's gonna like disappoint somebody no matter who he calls, right? There's always going to be the other parent that didn't get a phone call. So he called his dad and gave him some information and everything, and my ex relayed the information. So that was kind of like, okay, that sucked, but I get it. There's no good choice there, right? And then the next week, the next week, I got another message from my ex that he heard from our kid again. And I was like, what the heck? Because it was supposed to be 2 weeks before we heard from him again. And he was like, he's in the rehabilitation, headed out to rehab, not drug rehab, physical rehab. I don't remember if I had spoken about this, but he was in football in high school, and he had only played like his senior year, and he broke his hip after a tackle. Some kid rammed into his hip multiple times, and it ended up fracturing the very top of his hip. And apparently there was also some pretty, and I don't know if the first week of basic training aggravated it, or if it like didn't aggravate it but like caused more injury, or if it just made existing injury more apparent. But he's got a lot of muscle and tissue damage around that hip where that fracture was. So he's in rehab for the next 4 weeks, and they don't know if he's going to be able to finish basic or not. So that really sucks for him. Like, I'll be honest, I was not thrilled that my son wanted to go into the military. I'm very pacifistic when it comes to that. I get military, it's needed. Like, they protect our country, they do amazing things. That doesn't mean I have to like it. But I was also very proud of my son for making that kind of a decision and wanting to do that kind of service for his country. It's his life. It's not my place to say, no, don't go in the military. Absolutely not. My job is to support him no matter what he decides. So to find out that may be in jeopardy, like, that breaks my heart for him. Because if he cannot make improvement, and I don't even know, like, the way I actually did talk to him today. He had like a couple of hours of phone time to like get through people that, his friends and family. And he said that if he can not get worse, then there's like, if he's either not worse or at least improved some, they'll extend his rehab stay to try and get healed and get him back on track. If he gets worse, then he'll be medically discharged before he even gets out of basic, which really sucks. And honestly, it was a possibility that I had talked to him about before, like, because when I was in high school, an ex-boyfriend of mine tried to join the military, and he was also discharged medically because he blew out his knee. It happens. So I had asked him, what's your backup plan just in case something happens and you can't physically finish basic? And I hope I hope he's at least thinking about paths that may need to be taken. And it's like he sounded out, he's sick because apparently, obviously the rehab, it's basically medical facility. So if you're sick or whatever, you go there. He's like, everybody's sick. Everybody has a cold. Everybody's got what everybody's bringing in, and it sucks. But they also don't have anything to do. He's like, I basically stare at a wall for 9 hours a day, and it's morale kind of sucks. Like, yeah, that sounds terrible. Like they had some board games at one point, and they got a new commander in and said, no more board games. You're not here to have fun. It's probably not great for morale for people who are hoping to recover medically from something, right? But so positive juju, prayers, vibes, all that fun stuff for my kid would be very, very much appreciated, because he was really looking forward to having at least at least 6 to 8 years as a career in the military, right? So the way I feel is that if it's meant to be, he will recover enough to keep moving forward. But obviously, if he's not recovered enough, I don't want him going into a career that's going to damage him even further. So, which, frankly, that could be any aspect of his life. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Okay, so the elephant in my room is actually something that I have been wanting to chat about, and I think what I will do every time I want to do a Stitch with Me and talk about stuff like this, it doesn't seem to materialize for like a long time. But I'm looking at probably an 1.5-hour video at the very least, and I'm having trouble uploading videos that are that long, so I should probably stop it here. If I can, I will do a Stitch with Me. If I can't, I won't. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. I don't know. But to any of you out there who are struggling day to day, I've talked about this before. You are not alone. Okay? It's the last couple of months really have been very difficult for me, and but not in like a the sky is falling kind of way. It's very, very subtle and insidious like that. So yeah, if you got out of bed today and you're like, I really didn't want to get out of bed today, and you did it anyway, hats off. Good job. Keep it up, because sometimes that is all we are capable of, is getting out of bed. Didn't even make it to the shower, just got out of bed. That was the thing I did today. Sometimes that's just how it is. So yeah, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me, taking some time out of your day to spend with me flapping my jaw. I hope to see you in the next video, and yeah, leave your comments in the description. No, in the comment section below. Don't forget about the mushroom house thing bookmark, and to fill out the Happy Meal form if you have not filled it out previously. If you are confused about how to fill it out or what to put in there, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram. That or email me. Contact information is also in the description box below. Okay, I think that's enough. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.